The Inquisition is a product of the Middle Ages, and so we need to understand how the church was organized if we're going to understand what the position of the Inquisition is within that church. And that will be the main subject of this lecture. However, there are a few other components that we will need to have in place before we actually start tackling the Inquisition. For example, it would be good to know something about heresy and orthodoxy and how those are defined and treated by the Catholic Church and by Christian society in the Middle Ages, since that is what the Inquisition is designed to deal with, heresy. And so in our second lecture, we will have a look at that subject. And finally, Inquisition itself comes out of well-established legal methods of Roman law. And so we will put that piece of the puzzle together to form our foundation to discuss the components of the Roman legal system that bear directly on Inquisition. But as I said, in this lecture, we're going to look at the basics of the organization of the church, or what is called ecclesiology. Church organization began in a very simple fashion. It was a very simple organization at the beginning, and as with most institutions, as they grow, it becomes increasingly complex. Christianity begins with Jesus Christ and his apostles. The apostles are important, well, as is Christ, but the apostles are important with regard to the foundation of the church after Christ's ascension, after Christ has left. Christ, while he was on earth, as we can read in the New Testament, gave certain authority to his apostles to minister to the faithful. He created certain ceremonies or sacraments while he was on earth. And these were, in particular, baptism and the communion, or the Last Supper, the reenactment of the Last Supper, which he commanded his apostles to do. And for the earliest Christians, after Christ was no longer there, and the apostles, those two things were central. The initiation into becoming a Christian was baptism, and the regular ritual was the communal meal and the consecration of the bread and wine into the body and blood of Christ, just as Christ had done at the Last Supper. But as far as organization goes, there was it was a fairly loose organization. The apostles were clearly the leaders of this because they had been given this authority to do these sacraments, but they had also been given other powers, such as to drive out demons in Christ's name, or to have binding and loosing authority, particularly over the sins that were committed, but also over other practices of the church. Now, some of this was left vague, but it is clear that they were given binding and loosing authority as the apostles. And so this apostle is what is referred to as the apostolic foundation, is the basis for the church. Now, the apostles went out and preached and set up or took part in different new Christian communities in different cities in different parts of the Roman Empire. And when they came there, they had this authority given to them by Christ.